How is it going, Devils fans? It is great to see you guys. I know it's been a long time since I made a video. I've explained it in the past, and I'm always like a little iffy with making videos these days just because I am a teacher. I've been a teacher these past 3 years, and I don't like the idea of students looking me up, but I feel like at this point I'm kind of over that thought, and I don't mind it so much because hey, you know what? Us teachers, we're humans too, and we do have an online presence, so I figured, every now and then if I have an opinion, I'd want to maybe make a video because I really do love making videos. I've missed it. And seeing this Jacob Markstrom trade, I feel like I've seen opinions on both sides, and I definitely have some opinions that I wanted to share. So I just wanted to make a very quick video. So a couple hours ago, the Devils made a trade with the Calgary Flames. I think a lot of us expected the Devils to trade for Jacob Markstrom. I think this return was a little bit surprising because we heard a lot of things about what might be in the trade, and we didn't see those pieces go. The Devils did not trade the 10th overall pick. They traded their 2025 pick next year, top 10 protected, and Kevin Bahl in exchange for Jacob Markstrom. And I think a little over 30% contract retained. It's like 4.125 million instead of a 6 million cap hit for the next 2 seasons. And yeah, no 10th overall pick, no Seamus Casey, no Alexander Holtz. A lot of pieces that Devils fans are definitely glad to not see go in return for Jacob Markstrom. Now, I would definitely say a majority of Devils fans are happy with this trade. I mean, that's what we're looking for. It's the Devils' biggest need, getting a real starting goaltender, because we don't currently have that. Even if some people think Jake Allen is the guy, he's not. But getting Markstrom and having that tandem, I think, does seem pretty comforting, especially with the Devils' goaltending. The goaltending we've seen the past couple of years, and it's nice to see that the Devils have something that we can feel a little more confident in. Now, looking at Jacob Markstrom's stats, they're not 100% pretty the last couple of seasons. He had a sub 900 save percentage 2 years ago. This past season, a 905 save percentage as the Flames starter. He's a 34-year-old goaltender. And that's also often kind of the time where if you're a pretty good goaltender, you may see some extra declines at that point. And so there is, I would say, like a smaller percentage of Devils fans, they're concerned about this trade. And on paper, it doesn't look necessarily the greatest. But those numbers come with a pretty big caveat. Like, the Flames did not have great defense. In like advanced statistics, he saved, he let in 131 goals when it was expected to him have let in like 160 goals. I think that was the exact number. So he saved, 29 goals above what he was expected. And so that definitely shows a lot about the Flames defense, and it shows a lot of strength of Markstrom. It shows that at least last season, he still was playing at a good level. And 905 save percentage might not look great, but it really does matter the team that the goaltender is playing on. So if he can play to the level he was playing last season, hopefully the Devils have better defense this year. Certainly better than the Flames defense last year. The Devils should be in all right shape. Now, the things that the Devils are giving up, Kevin Bahl, I am pretty high on Kevin Bahl. I know people are saying he's a third pairing defenseman. I feel like he really was coming into his own. He has a big frame. He was not using, his frame as much as he would have liked to. Like, he can hit, but he often doesn't hit. But I feel like he definitely showed some strides in his defensive game, and he was looking like a really solid NHLer last year, especially with some of our departures of Graves and Severson, and he was taking on a bigger role. So I think the Flames are going to love having him. He's definitely going to slot in right away, and he should make their defense a little bit better. Now, the Devils, of course, they have some young guys, Simon Nemec, Luke Hughes, and I think they're going to get better, as years go. And, Luke Hughes, I feel like, people really gave him flack for his defense last year. And, he's not known to be a defensive guy, definitely more offense. But I saw, some potential in his game defensively. He did make a lot of rookie mistakes. He's a young guy. I think he's going to figure it out. And Simon Nemec, a guy who was known to be more of an offensive guy going into the draft and into his, first season post-draft. But he actually had some really good underlying statistics, and I think there's a lot of potential for him for years to come. And we all feel that. So the Devils have some guys that are only going to get better next year. The Devils definitely need a replacement for Bahl. I don't know if the Devils, defensive pipeline. Of course, you have Seamus Casey. You'd hope he'd make the lineup maybe next couple of seasons. But definitely more of an offensive guy, smaller guy too. The Devils probably want to pick up something in free agency, and the Devils have 16 million in cap space for next year. Of course, we have that cap increase going into the next year. They're going up to 88 million, which is great. But the Devils definitely have to re-sign some guys. You got Mercer this year. Next year, you have to re-sign Luke Hughes. The year after, you have to sign Nemitz, next year also Holtz is up. So there are some pieces that need to get signed, but their Devils should definitely have some money to pick up some solid guy defensively. I mean, one name that I think of is, Pesci. He's really great defensively. He's a right-hand defenseman, of course. Bahl was left-handed, but I mean, you can switch the roster around, and I'm sure the Devils could figure something out. But yeah, I would hope the Devils could pick someone up, this free agency, if the right guy is there. Again, like Fitzy says, like, you don't just throw money at something unless, like you're willing to make that investment for, however many years. And so if the Devils need to keep quiet free agency, that's what they have to do. But also this is their, their window of doing something. They got Markstrom for 2 years. They have a loaded offense, and you would really hope the Devils make a big, push not only for the playoffs, but to be successful in the playoffs next year. That's definitely the expectation. Anything less would be very disappointing. So I would hope that they get someone defensively, pretty strong defensively in free agency. But I'm pretty happy with Markstrom. I think the Markstrom-Allen tandem is pretty good. I think Allen, as like a true backup, should play a solid role. Markstrom has someone to rely on if he needs it. And again, these guys, 34, 33, a bit on the older end, but that's a huge upgrade from what the Devils had before. They have a real goaltending tandem, and that was the biggest need for the Devils. So I am, cautiously optimistic about the trade. We'll really just have to see how he meshes with the Devils and how he plays, not just a few games in, but, a longer amount of time in. So I'm excited. Devils got what they needed. There weren't a lot of goaltenders available. This is the guy that was available. The Devils made it clear that they were interested in him. They didn't have to give up 10th overall pick or Holtz or Casey. So I think it's a pretty big win. And that first round pick next year, you would hope that it's a later first round pick. The Devils are supposed to be contenders, hopefully in the higher 20s. I mean, hopefully it's the 32nd, but we'll see how next year goes. But overall, I'm excited about the trade. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. And if you are a little nervous about, just the fact that he's 34, he hasn't put up the biggest numbers the past couple of seasons, given Calgary's defense and given, his expected goals against versus the actual amount that he gave up, I think he definitely can be a good goaltender for the Devils. So those are my thoughts. Please share yours in the comments. And as always, let's go Devils.